Namaskar. This is an online Gurukulam by Indian Yoga Association, and I would be taking certain topics. Today, the topic is Yoga Sutra, second chapter, Sutra number 13. This sutra is making certain things very clearly, that the fact we have to go through certain experiences in life depending upon the karmas which we have done in our past births. Whatever karmas we have done, either we face the consequences in the same birth or the consequences are left. You have done the karma and then the death occurs, so next birth is there, and in that all those karmas have to be faced now. The vipak, the consequences are faced. And so we are all born. We have to go through certain past karmas records. And so here it is mentioned very clearly. Number one, they say that why do we do the karmas? Karmas we have to do. We are born and structured in such a way that we should be doing something or other. As our life by itself is looked after by so many, we are also supposed to do our karma in life. And the best karma would be doing our duties, our responsibilities in life. Now it is very clear that karmas which are done under the influence of kleshas, the root cause of karmas would be our klesha. Then those karmas are something which you will have to fulfill. Cause and effect theory. Whatever action do, you face the consequences of the action. So now, all those things which we will be facing would be those karmas which we have done under the influence of our kleshas. And so all of us should understand what kleshas are. We in yoga talk very clearly about 5 kleshas. And these 5 kleshas are avidya, ignorance; asmita, ego; rag, attachment; dvesha, hatred; and abhinivesha, fear, selfishness; love of self, fear of death. All these 5 kleshas are the root cause of our actions. If they are the root cause of our actions, those actions we'll have to face the consequences of. But if we do our action without these kleshas, it's very clear, with a balanced state, no klesha involved, then those actions you don't have to face the consequences of. Those actions are such that you are not bound by those actions. So what we should be doing in our life is to see that we reduce our kleshas. First of all, removing klesha is not so easy. We'll have to slowly reduce our kleshas, work on our kleshas, and see to it that they reduce through that action. And then they are burnt. The seed of klesha is also burnt. So no klesha is again reborn or again overtakes us. And then the actions which we do would be the best action. Now, roughly this theory has to be understood. They say in one of the sutra, Ashuddhi kshaye gnana diptir a viveka khyati. This ashuddhi is our kleshas. You have to remove that. Then only a real knowledge comes. And when real knowledge comes, discriminative power is there with you. And with this discriminative power, when person does his actions, those actions don't have to bind us. We don't have to face the consequences, and we don't have to take birth, because we have not done such actions which are under the influence of kleshas. So this is what is called as moksha, or a state of mukti, freedom from all the bondages. Now this is a very clear-cut science. In Yoga Sutra, everything is mentioned so systematically, so clearly, that once we understand that, we start working on ourselves. So this sutra again says, the fact you are born because of all your last karmas which you have done, which you had to face the consequences of. Certain karmas were bad karmas, that consequences you will be facing in this birth. Certain karmas which were mixed karmas, good and bad, you will be facing in this birth. And certain karmas were very good, that also you will be facing in this birth. So now when a person is born, they mention that three things are fixed with which person is born. These three things are jati, ayu and bhoga. We are born with these three things because of our past karmas. So the first is jati. Jati doesn't mean just male or female or animal or bird or worm. Jati, when you go into the detail, it is the personality. Some person gets quite affected very easily and gets angry very fast. Some person doesn't get angry but worries a lot. Some person tries and keeps quiet and thinks a lot. That is his jati. So these are varieties of people and varieties of ways in which they manage life is seen. So this is called as jati. Now suppose I have a jati where I get angry very fast. Understand this. Under the influence of anger, if I do action, then I'll have to face the consequences. Okay, understood that this is my nature. I get angry very easily, but now we have to be careful. And we will get angry because we are born with this jati. So getting angry is natural. But when you find that you are getting angry, at that time do something to come out of anger and don't do any action under the influence of anger. If you think that I will never get angry, don't think even like that, because you are born with that jati. To come to that stage, it will take births. But if you are alert and aware about your jati, that this is what I am, this is what I get irritated by this, and certain situations are going to come when I will get irritated. Sometimes you meet some person and you really get irritated. Sometimes you see situations which are so wrong and all wrong things are happening, you really get angry. So since you have this type of personality, you will get angry. But under the influence of anger, speaking or doing some action should be totally avoided. So now what are you doing? In this birth, you are getting more aware. Because of your type of person, you don't do more and more mistakes and create more and more problems for you. No. You follow the path of yoga, and yoga is nothing else but science of awareness. You become aware about yourself, about your body, about your mind, what type of nature you have. You become totally aware about it. And then see to it that under that influence or negative influence or klesha, you don't do any action. Person, anger is one thing. Person who worries a lot, he feels anxious a lot. His jati is this type. Now, under the influence of anxiety or worry, don't do any action. Because when you worry a lot and you have lots of anxiety, you will do wrong actions. Like people commit suicide also, and people do quite a lot of wrong things which they should never do, because that was your jati and you didn't work on that. You should overcome all this. You are now intelligent, you develop awareness, and you should work on yourself. And you should observe that this is my nature. I get angry very easily or I worry very easily, and so let me not do any action under the influence of worrying nature or nature with anger. So this jati has to be understood thoroughly well by all of us. And similarly, everybody has their own jati. So when you get angry on one side, somebody worries on another side, somebody thinks too much on another side. All varieties of people are there around us. So when somebody is behaving differently, you should not get perturbed, because he has different jati. Like in animals, here is a dog who is going to bark only. Here is a jackal who is going to eat on the lion who has worked hard to get the prey, and then he will be taking that. Or here is a deer who always runs here and there under fear, when deer has so much of capacity to run much faster than tiger, but still deer somewhere, because of the fear factor, these are all kleshas, fear factor, his speed of running reduces and lion or tiger can pounce on him. All this is the type of people, jati. And we should know that we focus on our jati and accept others as they are. Others are what they are, and you should accept them. That okay, this fellow gets angry very easily, this person worries too much very easily, this person gets anxious very fast. Fine, you should know that and accept people as they are. You can't change anybody in life. You are born with that trait, with that jati. Keeping that in mind, you should live with others. Accept people as they are and try to do your best in that situation. That should be your policy. You may work very hard to change him. You cannot change him. Don't waste energy in changing others. Try and accept them and do your best. Because every human is born with certain jati. So this is very, very clear. Understand. Jati. Second is Ayu. Ayu means lifespan, length of life. According to our past karmas, we are born in this birth with a length of life. And once that length is over, we are gone. So first of all, understand one point thoroughly well. All of us should know that our time of death is fixed with which we are born. So understand again, when somebody is sick, you get frightened that, "Arey, he will die." No, don't take sickness under fear. Don't start crying because person has cancer or person has this problem and that problem. No, diseases come, treat them, they'll go away. Diseases come, when find out why you had to go through all that, and if from your side, if you are doing any mistake, stop it, and automatically you will be able to manage. But don't bring death along with disease. Death is a separate thing by itself, and disease is separate thing by itself. Disease comes because we are doing some mistakes in life, certain things have happened in our life, and so sickness comes. Death comes because we are born. Birth and death, that's a natural phenomenon. You have to take birth and death equally with a balanced state, because after death again birth, again death, again birth. This is a cycle which we have to go through unless we come to a level when all the kleshas are removed, all the desires are removed, when nothing makes you do your action, but you are doing your action because that action is a natural one. It is required, and so you do it without any desire. So this is something again we have to understand. Ayu, lifespan. They found that nowadays the lifespan has increased, but few years here and there. Roughly the time of death is fixed. Roughly the time of death is fixed with which we are born. In Hatha Yoga they have mentioned that all of us are born with number of breaths. When the numbers are over, we go away. So these numbers, how fast you take, how slow you take, that much is in your hand. You worry, get tense, you are angry, you are disturbed, you are breathing fast. You are calm, you are relaxed, you are happy, you are caring, you love, you breathe slowly. So breath and lifespan are also connected according to yoga. But that much roughly you have in your hand. But as far as this sutra goes, your lifespan also is fixed with which you are born. Few years here and there. And now come to the third thing. Bhoga. Bhoga means experiences. What you are going through in your life, you will be going through, experiencing in your life, that also is fixed. What a beautiful thing they are talking. If experiences are fixed, you have to just accept, do not worry at all. You have given exam. If you have to experience failure, you will be experiencing failure. If you have to experience success, you will be experiencing success. You need not think or worry. You just see what is the result and again take to another experience. Go ahead and find out now how to go about in life. If I have this much marks, what do I do? If I have more marks, what do I do? And so on. Be prepared mentally. Be prepared for the worst in life, so that slowly nothing bothers you, because you have to go through certain experiences. You are born. You do business. Sometimes business would run very well. Sometimes it may not run. The point is, when you start comparing yourself with others, then you suffer more. I remember one gentleman who told me that, Hansaji, I was very happy till I came here. I saw everything beautiful and so lovely. I was so blissful, so happy. And then I saw your son and I became very unhappy. I said, really? He said, yes. He is so perfect. His body is absolutely trim, slim. Such a good figure he has. The way in which he talks is so lovely. He has compassion in his eyes. He's so nice that I felt that, well, why I'm not like him? And so I started feeling bad about myself. He was laughing and he was telling this. He made it very much clear that humans, when they start comparing themselves with others, they suffer. So when you're experiencing something in life, don't ever look at others what they are experiencing, because they are also experiencing according to their own karmas. So when you experience fully. See that you don't react. See that you still remain level-headed, fairly good level-headed. Take all those things which are obvious for you. Do whatever you can do, but not suffer. Don't bring any klesha, attachment, hatred. Where is the scope for all that? The fact we are born, we have to just live wisely. Getting attached to something is a klesha. It is going to be a vitiating factor. So a person has to bring vairagya. So yoga path tells you how to live and find out how to go about, because that attachment can create more kleshas. A girl goes to college and she is very much attached to her little Barbie doll, and she always carries that doll with her to college. Now this is too much. People can play with you, your emotions, and you get more and more frustrated. People can take away your doll, they can throw away your doll, they can break the legs, your friends, and then you are fighting with everybody. Why? Because you are attached to that little material thing. This attachment with the material world, which is ever changing all the time, is a very big factor, a vitiating factor to bring pain and suffering in your life. And then above all, hatred. You hate something. You hate a person, you hate a situation, you hate a weather, you hate certain food. What a thing! You may not love something, but don't hate anything. Understand? It is such a strong emotion, hatred. Watch your life and you will realize that you attract the same type of emotions from nature. Our emotions, when they are so strong, under the influence of klesha, we attract the same type of emotions from the world. You hate things, more and more of such situations will come in your life where your hatred will increase. You dislike something, more and more of such thing will come in your life where you will find, no, I can't accept it, I dislike it. You create your own world. Remember, no point in blaming anybody for all the pain and suffering you went through, because you should remember the fact you are born means all your experiences of life also are fixed. If you have to suffer because somebody will be cheating in life, you don't blame that person. If that person did not cheat you, somebody else would have cheated you. It is not the person which is important. What happened is important. And why he cheated you? Because you were not that smart, you were not that alert, you didn't check the accounts, you didn't check the things which are happening. And so he could cheat you. You can't say that I trusted him, I had full faith in him, and so he cheated me. No, trust and faith only with God. You should know that. With humans, you have to be vigilant. Always remain alert and aware. And do your part into the given situation. Others are doing their part, you do your part. So something like this should happen, but we bring negativity, we add to more kleshas, and so we do under the influence of these kleshas, our karmas. And again, those karmas we will have to face the consequences of. If not in this birth, again in the next birth, it goes on. So this whole sutra is so clear that all of us have to work on our kleshas. Ignorance, avidya, kshetram uttareksham, prasupta tanu vicchinno udaranam. Avidya prevails, ignorance prevails. We should try and understand this very well. Something which is not permanent, we think it is permanent. Something which is not ours, we think it is ours. Something which is not clean, we think it is clean. We should bring some wisdom in our life. Slowly go on the path of yoga. Study Yoga Sutras thoroughly well, and you will understand how our thinking can slowly change. Avidya has to go. Ego, where is the place for ego in life? Just tell me. Look at the whole universe. In this whole universe, where is our sun? Sun. You can't even find out. So many big suns are there in the universe. And our sun. And then in that, all our planets, our earth. And in that earth, we have our own place where we live, state. And then we, where is the scope? We have even lesser than the ant, our exhibition, our existence. You can't make out who is who and what is what. There is a story with Krishna that after Mahabharata, Arjun and Bhim, they both had an argument. In Mahabharata, after the war got over, all the Kauravas were finished. Bhim killed every Kaurav thoroughly well, and Arjun did all other job of all the stalwarts. Arjun had to face them, and so on. They both started arguing. Who is stronger? Who did a better job in this war? They both started arguing. So they both went to Krishna. Krishna said, look, I was very much in the war. I was taking the reins of Arjun. I don't know overall what happened. Maybe there is one head which is there at the top. There is a mountain top. There one head is there. That head is seeing all over what is happening. That head will tell you who did what and who is stronger, whose work was much more effective than others. So, both of them, they climbed up and went to that head. And that head was asked, I am Arjun, I am Bhim, and we were fighting in a war, but whose job was really good? Who did a very strong job? And that head said, what fighting and what? Who is Arjun and who is Bhim? It doesn't make any difference to me. I just saw a few people were fighting with each other and so much of blood shed. Earth was full of blood and she was taking the blood. Nothing much. Everybody is contributing to that part. Who is better and who is not better doesn't make any difference. Work is done. That was quite a shocking thing. That head doesn't even know here is an Arjun or here is a Bhim. The point they are trying to make through this story is that there is no scope for ego. If you are born with strength, you use your strength. If you are born with skill, use your skill. If you are born with intelligence, use your intelligence. But everything has its own place in the world. Everything is required. That's why it is there in the world. So, me and mine, I am superior. What I say is correct. Others are wrong. And all such thinking is very wrong. Everybody is equally important. All the wise people have said no, that our small little ant is also equally important. A little dust particle is equally important. Can't just throw it away. That dust particle, if it goes into your eyes, see how much pain it will give you. You can't just say, oh, this is not required. Everything is required in the world, and everything has its own place in the world. Show respect to everything. Take care of everything. Keep everything where it belongs to. But don't think that you are superior than anybody. So, world is full of wisdom, knowledge, and everybody has its own limitation. Try and see that you don't bring ego in your personality. I have noticed that people, when they have bigger degrees, they look as if they are great people, and they look egoistic. They have bigger position. They behave in such a way that how great they are. They have more money. They behave in such a way that they are the only thing. You should know that all these things are temporary. The same intelligence will not work when you needed it if ego goes high. Some simple intelligence would work. This will not work. I can give you many such examples. The point I am trying to make is very clear, that there is no scope for ego. Me and mine, and I am right and everybody should follow me, and all such things should be avoided. Everybody is equally important. So ignorance, ego, and then raga. Raga means attachment. In Maharashtrians, rag means anger, but the same word is understood in Sanskrit, and that is attachment. More you are attached, less you can do your job. With attachment, you don't see the things as they are. You are attached to something, you can't see things as they are. You are attached to a child, and child is doing so many wrong things, but according to you, no, your child can't do anything wrong. You don't even see what he is doing. Understand? Unfortunately, no scope for ego. Attachment creates problem. Of course, I definitely believe that okay, parents didn't do their job well. They were not that intelligent either. They were in a helpless situation, maybe. But as you grow old, as you grow big, after the age of, say, 12 above, person should start thinking before any action. Because whatever action you do, you have to face the consequences. If you steal something from people, something very valuable will be going away from you in life. Because karma theory works. As you sow, so shall you reap. जैसा करोगे वैसा भरोगे. So you can't just live as you want to live. You are bound. All of us are bound by this nature. In nature, there is a justice. What you put, you get. It doesn't go otherwise. So very clearly, we should understand what we have to go through the suffering, bhoga, and we have to keep our kleshas in check. So this attachment and actions done because of attachment should be taken care of. And slowly, person should learn to bring little detached state. With or without, you should be able to live with any material thing. You got a car, you are very much attached to car, but if car is not there, you can still walk, or you can take a public transport or do anything. You are equally happy. If that is your case, then only bring car, otherwise don't bring. If you are dependent on something in the material world, don't increase your numbers of dependencies. That will create more problem. Me and mine, my pen and my paper and my car and my house and all my will start, which would be too difficult to handle. So try and see that this attachment is not pampered. And then of course hatred just goes. You know that so many wars have taken place because of hatred. This hatred can really come to a very great extent, because all this happens since you have not handled your ego. Me and mine, So my son, my daughter-in-law, my family, my money. So I don't like this and I like this. All this comes because of ego, and the root cause is avidya. We don't even know what is what. And so the whole problem. We have not developed discrimination, and so the whole problem. And then comes the final thing, and that is abhinivesh. Fears, varieties of fears which we are having in life. People are afraid of little cockroaches, afraid of little lizards. We realize that all these things can't harm us much. They can't. They don't bite. Yet we are afraid. They should be afraid of us and not we. But we are. We always are under fear. Animals live under fear. Every animal is living under fear because the bigger bounces on the small. It is Matsya Nyaya. Big fish is going to eat the smaller, smaller, still smaller, and so on. Matsya Nyaya. But humans don't have to be like that. Humans should overcome this abhinivesh. Instead of pouncing on each other, they should start helping each other. A strong person should help person who is weak. Intelligent person should help those who are less intelligent. So this should go on. And then the fear will disappear. There is no fear. So the point is, there should not be any fear. They say that the wisest person also, who has overcome his anger, attachment, hatred, he also has some abhinivesh in his personality. Protecting yourself, your products, your ideas, that is very strong in human beings. After dying, people make statues. After dying, they have so many other things. Now you are gone and the life just moves ahead. But somewhere that ego is very strong. Fine. So, we have to work on these 5 kleshas, and we have to do karmas not under the influence of these 5 kleshas, but karmas with a balanced state of mind. हमें अपने मन को हमेशा संतुलित रखना है. इसी में ही हमारा आत्म विकास समाया है. We always sing this, that always we have to bring balance into our mind, because that will be for our self-evolution, self-development, balanced state of mind. Because with balanced state of mind, when we do our karmas, they will not mind us so badly. In English we sing, our self-development is possible only if you maintain a balanced state of mind all the time, all the time, all the time. We always say that, balanced state of mind. So learn to remain balanced and do our action. If you find your balance is lost, first emergency would be to come back to balanced state. So you find you are angry, find out what to do to come out of your anger. Come on, sit, do some pranayam, meditate, or do some other activities. If you are hungry, eat something. If it's a time for bath, go and have your bath and calm yourself down. Or go and walk or climb, do something, but overcome your anger first and then do your action. It's very clear. And so take care that now the time is clear that we should know that our birth itself is because of kleshas, and because of kleshas, this jati, ayu and bhoga is fixed with which we are born. So in this birth, we will go through certain experiences and all that. But all those experiences, when we go through, don't create new karmas. Rather do karmas with a balanced state. And that would keep us going. So well, Yoga Sutras have to be studied well and have to be understood practically, and apply these things into life, because yoga is an experiential science. So try and experience what happens when you are imbalanced and what happens when you are balanced. How to bring balance when you are imbalanced. You have to work on yourself. Self-observation, self-analysis, self-dissection. That should be your nature. So try and live life correctly, and yoga would really will take you further to a very blissful state. So take charge. Namaskar.